Yo, I'm Carl, and this is Lily. Today, we're at the world's largest airport in Beijing, where we are the only visible passengers. How cool is that? If there is ever a time to travel, it is now. Hi everybody, I'm Carl, and this
Lily.
Today we're really excited to be in the beautiful country of Malaysia, where the coronavirus pandemic has started. Lily and I have been to Malaysia, China, Brunei, and Cambodia since Wuhan was shut down. So we'd like to share some advice for you of how to stay safe, don't panic, but enjoy your life even with the coronavirus out there. We'll be putting out more videos, so remember to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Okay, the first thing we'd like to talk about today is masks. One of the things that we've discovered in our travels, starting in China, when it was difficult to obtain masks, was that you actually can use a mask for a really long time. Isn't that right, Lily? We basically use one mask per country. So far that's worked really well for us. So we'd like to say you can take your mask off and hang it somewhere. We'll give you a little demonstration somewhere clean in the house. And every time you go out for a few hours, you just wear the same mask. Then when you arrive somewhere, you take your mask out and put it in some nice plastic bag or something like that. Isn't that right, Lily? Yo, party people in the house. Behind me, we have the iconic KLCC tower, and in front of me, you have me and my mask. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about masks. And I have a bit of good news, because if you're feeling down, which admittedly we are a little bit, since we're in a lockdown situation, and maybe if you're watching this, you are as well. But the good thing about having a mask is that you can be reused for quite some time. So you see, I just taken it off carefully. I'm holding it by one finger. And now all I have to do is find somewhere where I can hang it, where it's not going to be infected by bacteria. And it can be, in this case, there's a window here where fresh air can be blown in if it's open. There's also an air conditioning unit, which can blow in the mask, dry it out, and basically keep it relatively germ-free. If you have a place where you can put your mask in the sun, that's even better. You see it dangling there very nicely. Normally that's just a laundry rack, but you can also take your mask and use something else. For example, I have a big water bottle, which you can see here. And I take my mask, again hanging by the string, and I put it on here. So for example, in our hotel in Cambodia, we didn't really have that many places to hang masks, and so we found that bottles were very good for that. Keep it with the outside, the surgical part out, the inside is the white. Now, if you have an unlimited supply of masks, this does not apply to you. But we found that in many countries it was simply impossible to buy medical grade masks. We had about 10 when Wuhan went into lockdown. Another thing that is a problem is that in most countries we've been in, we found the price of masks has gone up astronomically, maybe 5 times, 10 times. In Cambodia, it was going to cost 10 US dollars to buy a mask. We also weren't sure about the quality of the mask. So after a lot of soul searching, we decided that it was probably a lot better to keep our masks running rather than give up on masks, as some have suggested. We think that because we've been in lines at airports, sometimes we've been at airports for 16 hours, we've been on lines on planes, people have been coughing. We've been in very high-risk areas. I would say that the odds are almost 100% that, for example, some of the airports that we've been in, like the Kuala Lumpur airport, where one day we were there from, I think, 4 in the morning until our flight left at about 7:30 p.m. We were either on a plane, in line with a bunch of crowded, coughing, spitting, sneezing people. Without the mask, I don't think you'd be able to see us here today. But you don't have to overdo it. If you're not a frontline medical worker, I don't think you need to have your mask changed every 4 hours, because you will only very rarely or intermittently be exposed to the virus, and probably in small dosages. So that's our advice. The other thing we found, for example, in Brunei, where we were really psyched because we found this box that says 100 pieces of 2-ply face masks. But unfortunately, these face masks were very thin. Clearly not medical grade. Usually you can tell the medical grade ones because the front is blue and the white is and the back is white. You notice this is white. But what we did, and we learned this trip from cab drivers in heavily infected areas in Shanghai, we would take the mask and put it on and use it as a first layer in covering. And so you can see you have the low quality mask, then you have this higher quality mask on the outside. And actually, unfortunately, I put this mask on incorrectly. Oops, in fact, that is Lily's mask. My mask is here. So, here we are putting this on. So now we have 2 masks. Again, I think we saw it a lot with the equivalent of Grab, Uber, Didi drivers in China, because they would have 2 masks on at the height of the epidemic. You're very concerned because if you're in the car with somebody for 15 minutes, it's only almost 100% sure the disease will be transmitted to you, and they would use multiple masks. Sometimes they were very low quality, even cloth masks that they had made themselves. So, keep your masks, reuse your masks, stay safe. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.